Ruby. Eh? Oh, I have a song today, guys. It's Nena, 99 Luftballons. I think in English it's called 99 Red Balloon. And this song was huge in the radio in the 80s and the 90s. My generation, the 90s. But I think they have an English version which has a different meaning. And I'm not 100% sure of the meaning in German, what it's supposed to be originally. But I know that it's referred to like the Cold War, Russia, and I don't know, this song has become iconic in Germany and all around the world, and everyone interpreted it in a different way, I guess. So the channel, Dive in Italy, is going to tell us a story, the lyric explained of this song. And maybe if the copyright allow, one day we're going to react to the the video, one of the live performance, because the melody is very famous and get blocked a lot on YouTube. So anyway,
let's get started.
Today I'm gonna talk about the song 99 Luftballons by Nena, which probably still to this day is one of the most popular German songs known internationally. Since I'm not allowed to directly use and feature the actual song in this video,
there's so much copyright for this song, you cannot show anything on YouTube.
99 Luftballons, 99 Balloons, is a song by the German singer and eponymously called band Nena. It was first released in 1983, both as a single and on the band's eponymous
It was in the video game, Grand Theft Auto? I don't play that game, but it's very famous.
Album. It was composed by the quite famous German songwriter Uwe Fahrenkrog-Petersen, and the lyrics were written by
Uwe Fahrenkrog-Petersen. I think I got it.
This song in particular is still considered one of the most popular songs of the Neue Deutsche Welle genre, which pretty much was a highly popular wave of new wave music and a more punk rockish type of pop music in Germany during the late 70s and the 1980s. The whole first verse is a more or less independent introduction to the story that's about to be told and unfold throughout the song. Each verse is a continuation of the previous one with additional and more detailed details. Makes sense. At only 4 seconds in, Nena directly asks the listener if they have some spare time in order to listen to the song, so instead of talking to a specific, maybe even fictitious person, she's rather breaking the fourth wall right from the get-go, so to speak. She is addressing you. Hast du etwas Zeit für mich? Dann singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99 Luftballons auf ihrem Weg zum Horizont.
And do you have some time for me to spare? Then if so, I'm gonna sing you a song about 99 balloons on the way to the horizon.
No, I'm not gonna sing that. Sorry. At this very early point in the track, you might even expect a very romantic song about peace and white sunny sky and cute rubber ducks and stuff. But no. The song actually takes an interesting turn during the second verse in general, and from the second half onwards in particular. In a way, the very first line in the second verse actually marks the indirect beginning of the song, since Nena, or rather the lyrical I, das lyrische Ich, has offered to sing a song about 99 balloons in the first verse. That's probably also the reason why this verse starts with the basic situation that has already been mentioned and teased in the first one. The third and following line actually sets the more military and darker lyrical tone for the remainder of the song.
On the way to the horizon, we're mistaken for UFO from outer space. That's why a general sent a flying squadron after them. They refer to the
99 Luftballons auf ihrem Weg zum Horizont hielt man für UFOs aus dem All. Darum schickte ein General eine Fliegerstaffel hinterher. Yep, that escalated quickly. As a side note, I really like the change of pace and tempo at the beginning of this verse, which underlines the growing intensity of the lyrics very well, so it really accompanies that quite directly. Generally speaking, on both the lyrical and musical side of things, this song heavily breathes the zeitgeist of the 1980s, which, by the way, is a German loanword. It's der Zeitgeist, the time ghost, so to speak. At this point in time, the culture...
It's typical sociocultural habit, style, ideology, way of life that occur, happen during, correlate with a specific time period. So it's more like a style, like, during the Cold War it was communism, and now we are in capitalism, maybe. And it's
time ghost, so to speak. At this point in time, the Cold War, der Kalte Krieg, was still happening, it was still going on,
Oh, look
and
at
no
this.
one really knew what was gonna happen.
See, West Germany and then East Germany, like where Berlin is, I think, right? It was separated. We always forgot that like Germany was separated back then from like the communism and then the rest of Europe. A lot of countries
Next.
ex-USSR.
So many
also.
people were afraid about the ongoing hot war all of a sudden. And to be even more specific, because Nena is German and Germany was separated back then, that was also a huge part of the tension that was going on and the uncertainty, so to speak.
East Berlin.
So yeah,
West
in the microcosm
Berlin.
it's West Germany and East Germany, but in the macrocosm it's pretty much the West against the East. The third verse is more direct regarding the
Whoa.
almost paranoid reactions that were solely caused by 99 balloons flying in the sky. This is conveyed through an already different beginning. 99 Düsenflieger, jeder war ein großer Krieger, hielten sich für Captain Kirk. Es gab ein großes Feuerwerk.
99 jet pilots. Everyone was a great warrior, pretended to be Captain Kirk. There was a big fireworks spectacle. Is he referring to Star Trek? Because in Star Trek, the name of the character is like Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
Is he referring to the war again?
Uncertain, almost paranoid reaction by the neighbors, most likely again referring to the conflict between the West and
fireworks,
East
like
Europe
the
back in
fume
those
and you know
days,
what you
is
see in the video
highlighted
right now.
especially in the second half of the verse. Die Nachbarn haben nichts gerafft und fühlten sich gleich angemacht. Dabei schoss man am Horizont auf 99 Luftballons.
Whoa. The neighbor didn't get it at all. They immediately felt armed threatened. But all that happened occurred with people shooting 99 balloon. Is it referred to like the bullet? Or it referred to like when you drop some kind of bomb from the sky? Like the weapon you drop from the sky and it explodes like the bomb?
Yeah, I'd probably refer like
Yeah.
that if the fireworks.
Dabei schoss man am Horizont auf 99 Luftballons. People on one side of the Iron Curtain, der eiserne Vorhang, did something pretty harmless, but the neighbors, meaning people on the other side of the curtain, were alarmed and presumed the worst scenario.
See? The black line. It's the Iron Curtain that you see here, right? Then the red are the socialists, the blue are the capitalists, the gray are neutral. And then the green are Yugoslavia, acting independently. So it's what you can see the black separation between everything and everything in between.
To me, this also raises the question whether the alarmed side, the neighbors, actually felt threatened out of, like, real fear, meaning because they really misconceived the situation pretty much by accident, or if they were even glad about the situation, because they could use it to their advantage willingly and as an excuse for being allowed to attack the enemy. And, of course, don't get me wrong here, there's a huge difference between the people I'm talking about, like the citizens, and the regimes. So I primarily refer to the army, the military, and the politicians.
That's true, because this is, again, when people talk about America and being like a certain way, it's the government that make the whole country look bad. It's the government of each country. For example, in Germany right now, you have the rise of fascism in Germany and people protesting. Most people are normal people in every country, but you have a small group of 5% or less of extremists that are very loud and to make your whole country look bad. And then you have a few politicians or bunch of politicians that agree with them, and it gives the impression that the whole country is going insane, while in fact it's a small minority. Like in America, the evangelical, they're highly religious people that like say that even if you got R-worded, you should not abort your baby. It makes people believe that like, because they have so much power in America, the evangelicals, it gives us the impression that there's a lot of people that think like them, but it's a very small minority people that are really crazy in their head that make everyone else look bad. So there's a separation between the people and the government that need to be done when you talk about people, because we both travel a lot together. Well, before before what happened, the pandemic, and people are normal in every country. It's the government that are crazy, that are basically make everyone look worse than they are. Anyway,
The critical eye is very clear and direct on this matter. The enemy is so cruel and just waits for even the tiniest and most stupid situation to feel threatened and to start a war. The hot war, so to speak. The fourth verse expresses a similar intense situation, but on a different level of governance, so to speak. This time, the lyrics directly refer to politicians on the enemy's side, the war ministers, die Kriegsminister. 99 Kriegsminister, Streichholz und Benzinkanister hielten sich für schlaue Leute, witterten schon fette Beute.
Oh, 99 war minister, matches and jerry cans, petrol can. Thought to be smart people, already capturing a lot of booty. Refer to the make fat prey. Okay, yeah, but you know, the thing is also is that rich people and politicians, they are never the one that go to war.
Yes,
It's
of
always
course.
poor young boy that are lost in life that are sent to war, and the politicians are like doing everything from the side, from the comfort of their home, and they never put their life at risk. If they were to put their life at risk, I'm sure that there will be a lot less war in this world.
Yeah.
It's just...
Apparently, this situation really escalates in the second half of this verse, because it goes, the war ministers riefen Krieg und wollten Macht. Mann, wer hätte das gedacht, dass es einmal so weit kommt, wegen 99 Luftballons.
I love the word Luftballon.
Me too.
It's pretty. Shoot at war and wanted power. Man, who would have thought that it would have come to this far just because of 99 balloons? And the thing is,
First talks
when you listen to the song, you would never think that it's about that. If you
True.
don't have the lyrics,
Yeah.
you would think that
It's
it's
about
funnier
a time
than it is.
period
Like,
in the future.
No.
So there's quite a huge jump in time now. It's pretty much the next hypothetical page in the same book. Or, for instance, a picture of a dystopian scenario of how the world could have ended if everything really escalated and the Cold War indeed would have turned into a very hot war, which, as we know nowadays in 2018, didn't happen.
Yeah, remember this song was like 6 or 7 years before the end of the Cold War.
Back
Yeah,
then,
in the
people
early
didn't
90s,
know that
80s.
yet.
In the
So,
80s.
again, keep that in mind. 99 Jahre Krieg ließen keinen Platz für Sieger. Kriegsminister gibt's nicht mehr und auch keine Düsenflieger.
99 years of war left no place for victors. War minister are no more and neither are jet pilots. Everyone is like dead.
Heute ziehe ich meine Runden, sehe die Welt in Trümmern liegen, hab 'n Luftballon gefunden, denk an dich und lass ihn fliegen.
Today I'm walking around, see the world in ruin. I found a balloon, think of you and let it try. Yeah, the word I gone to apocalypse.
Now that I once again think about the balloons and the metaphor behind those, that could also refer to many people trying to flee and pretty much leave the GDR, the Deutsche Demokratische Republik. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but trying that, many people actually lost their lives and they died. But I assume the balloon the lyrical eye has just found might also be a metaphor for a remaining very bleak or pale shimmer of hope. Der Hoffnungsschimmer, a very similar word as you can see, even in dark or the darkest times. There is always hope in the world and people shouldn't lose hope, so to speak. And the memory of a loved one or a very close person will survive in the end. That's how I'd interpret the last line. Because that is what it's all about and what is magical about art, because even if the lyricist had a specific intention in mind, you as the listener can still have your very own perception and interpretation of the song. And each song can have a specific meaning to you. And although I don't really know about that, I could imagine and pretty much assume that this song might be perceived and mean something different to people in East Germany. Once again, I don't really know if you know that or if you're aware of that, but back in the day, people couldn't just leave the GDR. If I had to put it in really literal, direct words, in comparison, they weren't free. So that is what I
Well,
think.
yeah, I don't know what the GDR is, but that's true, right? When you are in a regime where some country you are forced to go to the military, like you don't have
Yeah.
any choice, and some country like if you refuse and you rebel, you will get like executed or something.
Yeah.
So it's you, and you can choose to like try to run away from, like in Ukraine, a lot of men have decided to try to flee the country, and they have to leave their wife and behind, you know, and things like this because they need to be safe. And yeah, it's true what he's saying.
99 Luftballons by Nena is about. I also enjoy the rather obvious contrast between the rather happy pop melodies and the increasingly intense and darker lyrical content. Because even if you don't understand German and you don't really know much about the background of all this, the song will still work as a pop song because of this Harvey Two-Face character to it, you know? And as I've already mentioned at the beginning of this review, even though this contrast is quite evident, the pace and rhythm of the song still correlates quite closely with the story. For instance, the very last verse is rather quiet and mellow sounding compared to the rest of the song.
Very interesting. You know, sometimes you listen to song in a foreign language and you would never think like how deep it is. It's almost like a national anthem of the country. It reflects something. I read on the internet that like that song was almost written in accident, and this song became famous, I think, in America when it was translated to English. And I think in America they gave a slightly different meaning to what you hear there, you know, because it depends on the context of the song, and the people have a lot of different meaning based on where they are in the world. But it's kind of fascinating.
Yeah. Even though when he said the balloon can mean many things. I mean, it's really dramatic and it's also dark, but it also give like some hope.
Yeah, it can make the soul of the person, and also when you're a balloon in the sky, you're the one that never gonna die. You're like immortal as the balloon. Everything can live in that balloon as if there's something inside, a soul or something, and nothing can happen. It's like a firefly, all of those balloons. I don't know. It's really interesting. Well, thank you for the amazing suggestion. Maybe one day we can react to this video, even though, as he said, it's very hard on copyright. Yeah, and there's more breakdown like this. Please let us know.
Yeah.
See you very soon.